Our ANZAC service for 2020 looks somewhat different, but it still has the same message. It is one of gratitude, one of resilience, and one of pride. It is a message to give thanks, to believe in and live by the ANZAC spirit. Our commemorative ceremony for today is a montage of our school and wider community. Please watch the duration of it, remember to give thanks, and light up the dawn.
I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land of which we meet, the Yugambeh people, and pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging, for they hold the memories, the traditions, the hopes and the culture of Indigenous Australia.
ANZAC Day is about honouring all of those people who have served our nation. Sadly, we cannot have our usual ANZAC Day commemorative service here at school this year. So we're asking all of our students to watch this video instead. You may think that there's not much else you can do to honour ANZAC Day this year, but there certainly is. One thing you can do on Saturday is to watch the broadcast of the National Service from the Australian War Memorial. If you know someone who has served or is serving in the Australian Defence Force, why not reach out to them on Saturday and let them know that you're thinking about them? You could also talk to your parents or your relatives about any descendants that you have that may have served our nation in times of war. As a nation and as a school community, we have a responsibility to ensure that we will always remember the service and the sacrifice of the more than 102,000 people who sacrificed their lives for this country. This Saturday, do not forget to take some time to think about those who have proudly gone before us and those who continue to serve in times of conflict and for peacekeeping purposes. Thank you.
Good morning staff and students, and welcome to our ANZAC commemorative ceremony. Today we reflect on 105 years of the ANZAC spirit and acknowledge the servicemen and women who have protected and continue to protect our country. We stand here today and remember. We remember with gratitude those who served and those who made the ultimate sacrifice. Remember those who survived and those whose sorrow may never be healed. Remember those who gave their all and those who had everything taken from them. Today is a time to honour their service and commit ourselves as individuals and nations to building a better Australia and a more peaceful world.
In 1915, the ANZACs, together with the British, Indian and French soldiers, were sent to fight on the Gallipoli Peninsula in Turkey. Australians from all kinds of backgrounds served during the First World War. They wore the same uniform and shared the same experience of war together. Their story, the story of the ANZAC, is one that unites all Australians regardless of their background. The First World War saw over 57,000 Queenslanders serve during this time. Over 100 years has passed since the landing on Gallipoli, and these years continue to provide us with an opportunity to serve their memory.
I would now like to introduce our guest presentation. This footage is of Corporal Macdonald, VC, and is from the ANZAC Dawn commemorative service at the War Memorial in Canberra 2019. Mark Donaldson is an Australian soldier and a recipient of the Victoria Cross for Australia, the highest award in the Australian Honours System. Then Trooper Donaldson was a member of the Special Air Service Regiment, where he exposed himself to enemy fire to protect injured troops and then rescued an interpreter under heavy enemy fire in Afghanistan. He was presented with a decoration by the Governor-General of Australia, Quentin Bryce, in a ceremony in Canberra on 16th January 2009. On 25th January 2010, Donaldson was named the 2010 Young Australian of the Year.
We tell our young Australians it is an ANZAC spirit, but perhaps it is more than that. On that Gallipoli Peninsula would be nearly 400,000 casualties in total, over 36,000 young Australians and New Zealanders, amongst others, thousands of others, from Britain, France and the Ottoman Empire. A beach, ridges, gullies and slithers of dirt are forever written into our histories. Perhaps then it is the capacity of all ordinary humans to do extraordinary things when coupled with extreme circumstance. To fight harder, march further, dig deeper, move despite overwhelming odds, and care for wounded mates, no matter what the personal imposition or risk. These are actions and inspiration to lean on in a time of crisis, hardship, and to foster our own spirit. We all sense fear in our lives, but we must try not to succumb to it. Even the bravest are afraid. We honour their sacrifice while living a good life in support of others, respecting the freedoms given to us, and inspiring others to be and build a better Australia, a stronger ANZAC spirit. We should strive to be worthy of these sacrifices made for us. The Australian War Memorial was built on a promise. One our nation has a responsibility to uphold. A promise not just to an individual, but for an individual, all of them. Those who served in the past, serving today, and who will serve in the future. This place reminds those who wear our uniform that we care, that we are grateful for their sacrifice above self, that we have a place to reflect and that we will never forget, even if it is for just one of them. I urge the young people to visit, learn, and be inspired by these deeds. Look at the age of those who went, who stood up, and who committed. They were your age, if not younger. That which we commemorate today and the brave and courageous behaviours we honour were undertaken by young men and women. There is a sobering reality that comes with service and sacrifice, though. A celebrated amazing feat can also be the worst day of another person's life. The day that they never walked again, talked again, or never returned home. Today and every day, remember all those sacrifices, those who suffered yet fought on, and those who continue to do so, lest we forget.
Corporal Donaldson's message is powerful. In a time of crisis that we're in right now, please remember his words, that ordinary humans can do extraordinary things when coupled with extreme circumstances. Take inspiration from our diggers and foster the spirit of the ANZAC. It is one of comradeship, courage, and sacrifice. It is others before self. It encompasses the laughter, the pride, and the love of life that is in every Australian. Where there is the ANZAC spirit, there is willingness to help those in need. We now come to the Lane of the Reeves. Flowers have traditionally been laid on graves and memorials in memory of the dead. Rosemary, symbolising remembrance, is popular on ANZAC Day. Laurel is also a commemorative symbol woven into a wreath. It was used by the ancient Romans to crown victors, and the brave as a mark of honour.
As we search our souls for the loyal truth before our journey's ended, see the fragile lives of the chosen few and the ones befriended. For the one who's strong, who can carry on and see the light in darkness, not afraid of pain, nor the thirst for gain at the price of sadness. History is made while heroes paid. We'll remember all you gave.
We now come to a very important time in this assembly where we pause to remember those soldiers who lost their lives in combat. Shortly, you'll be asked to stand silently while the last post is played by James Spinks. The bugle call is used at military funerals and ceremonies commemorating those who have fallen in war. Following the last post will be the traditional 1-minute silence. Would you please also bow your head in respect at this time? Then, unannounced, the ode will read. At the conclusion of the ode, please repeat, "We will remember them." Following that, the reveille, a bugle call symbolising the awakening of the dead in the next and better world, will be played. There is no need to clap at any stage. Your absolute silence shows your utmost respect. Please stand quietly.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not worry them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. Students and guests, please be seated quietly. John McRae's In Flanders Fields was written during the First World War. This is the poem that saw poppies become intrinsically linked to the remembrance of fallen soldiers in battle. It was written on the battlefield, and legend has it, was thrown away by the man who wrote it. His fellow soldiers retrieved it and pressed upon him its importance as a historical document. It describes the tragedy of the soldiers' deaths, as well as the ongoing natural beauty that surrounds their graves. As the youth of today, it reminds us of our responsibility to carry on the soldiers' battle and signifies the message of hope.
In Flanders Fields the poppies blow, between the crosses row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the larks, still bravely singing, fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you, from failing hands we throw, the torch be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, ye shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders Fields. As a school, we stand stronger together to pay our respects to those who have sacrificed so much so we can live in freedom. To their families, our heartfelt sympathy goes out to all. To those who have fallen, to those who have survived the perils of war, and to those who are currently in conflict zones. We will remember and honour you, not just on this day, but in the way we live our daily lives, upholding the values for which they have made so many sacrifices. The values that as a Robina community we hold true: resilience, respect, compassion, and courage. As a small token of our gratitude, we encourage all students to take the time to say to our veterans, "Thank you for your service." These are very powerful and emotional words for a veteran to hear. We do this because many veterans suffering physical and psychological conditions lose track of the importance of their service to all Australians. So on ANZAC Day this year, please take a moment of your time and give thanks.
In a moment, you will stand quietly for the national anthems of both Australia and New Zealand. If you know the words, please sing. As a sign of respect, please do not applaud at the conclusion of the anthem. Please stand quietly. Please be quietly seated. That concludes our ceremony. During these uncertain times, it is important to still remember those that served before us. 2020 has shown us that in the greatest times of need, human spirit can still flourish. We, as a community, demonstrate resilience, respect, and kindness towards each other. We stand stronger together.
Right now, our ANZAC spirit is more important than ever.
At the going down of the sun,
and in the morning,
we will remember them.
Lest we forget.
This ANZAC Day, we ask you to light up the dawn. As the morning sun approaches, be standing on your driveway with members of your family with a candle to give thanks to those that served before us.